Let's go, fast! Jump! Get on the boat, move! Hurry! Don't lose the bag! Go! Faster!
Starting to think Somalia is not sending us their best.
You are watching the American Interest Podcast. Wake up, America! Starting to think Somalia is not sending us their best. Let's get them out of here.
What's the number to ICE?
So, it's no secret what we know about the Somali people. They're pirates. They've always been pirates. It seems like that's all they know is theft. It's what they aspire to become. And it seems like that mentality is ingrained in their culture. And you can't say that, oh, that's a racial thing to say. No, their culture, not their race, their culture has taught them to take what's not theirs. Take everything they can. Now, is that wrong to say? No, because it's actual fact. Now, when they come out of that world, that primitive world that they come from, when they come out of that world and they come to a civilized world like the United States is supposed to be, they can't help themselves but to revert to their old ways and put their hands in the cookie jar. My attention right now is focused on Minnesota, and there seems to be a lot of fraud happening there right now. The Minnesota government is complicit or incompetent at the least, and I think it's complicit. I think there's more something sinister internally in the government happening, but at the least, they're so ignorant that they're asleep at the wheel, basically. So that's just trying to think the better of them, that they're at least, like, the better option is, I just think that they're stupid, but they're not stupid. I think they're sinister. Involvement is in the fraud. So it says here, federal prosecutors and investigators have projected that fraud schemes involving Somali immigrants in Minnesota, particularly surrounding COVID-19 pandemic relief and state social service programs, could exceed $1 billion to $9 billion. Yeah. Key findings regarding the scope of the fraud include, while early estimates and initial charges focus on a $250 to $300 million food aid scam, investigations expanded to include daycare and other social service programs, with some federal prosecutors suggesting that up to $9 billion in taxpayer funds may have been improperly billed or stolen from 14 Minnesota Medicaid programs since 2018. Including, let's see here, the Feed Our Future case. The scandal largely centers on the Feeding Our Future nonprofit, where dozens of Somali Americans were charged with creating shell companies to claim federal reimbursements for millions of non-existent meals. Charges and convictions. As of 2026, nearly 100 individuals have been charged in connection with these schemes, with the vast majority being Somali ancestry. Now, let me correct that. It says nearly 100 individuals. It's actually 97 were charged. 97 individuals were charged, 63 of which were personally connected to and vouched for by Ilhan Omar. So, and we'll connect that dot full circle here in a minute. So, 63 of the 97 people charged with this fraud were personally connected to Ilhan Omar, and Ilhan Omar made it possible for that fraud to happen. So, reports indicate that this is considered the largest pandemic fraud case in the United States, with some officials suggesting the corruption represents industrial scale fraud. I think this is a good opportunity to put this post, show you this picture here. I thought it was pretty funny and very, very fitting. So, we can try to call it incompetence. That's just our natural desire to see the best in people. Like, maybe they're just stupid. But I don't think it's that they're stupid. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. The fraud is just too consistent, and all roads seem to be leading right back to Ilhan Omar. And do you really think the government, is it possible for the government to have overlooked such a massive cash out without being in on it? It's just not possible. And so now you add the element of connection of fraudsters to Ilhan Omar, the one that could have made it possible. Now now it ties that together. We have to get these people out of office and reclaim the state of Minnesota. It's become a cesspool. It really has. So on the topic of Ilhan Omar, there have been allegations of financial impropriety relating to campaign funds, questions about her ties to multiple consulting firms that received payments from her campaign. One of the biggest recipients being E Street Group, being paid $3 million for services in November of 2020. Tim Minette is the co-owner of E Street Group. Who is Tim Minette? Though he isn't her brother, she still married him. So, Ilhan Omar marries Tim Minette in March of 2020. Then pays him over the next 8 months. November of 2020, she pays him $3 million. So she essentially hires her husband's company to channel $3 million out of campaign finance money into her own pocket. That's called embezzlement. But I guess when you're protected by the Democrat liberal mafia, it's not called embezzlement. It's called nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. So, let's see. Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is usually quick to talk and vocalize her opinions of Trump and anything Republican. And she proudly claims her allegiance to Somalia. So, when you see so many Somalian people cashing in on American taxpayer dollars, she has an allegiance to Somalia. She is purposely extorting money from this country so that her people can gain wealth from it. Wow. So, but now she is being questioned about her wealth scandal. So something completely different. So now we're just jumping tracks to all these different avenues of fraud that are surrounding Ilhan Omar. So she's being questioned about her wealth scandal. Now she doesn't have anything to say. She's now blaming it on accounting error. So I got a video here that I'll show you where she's basically taunting Trump and the Republicans to investigate her because she's bluffing, because even though there's probably plenty to see, and I can't wait for it to get presented, but even though there's plenty to see, she's acting as though she's innocent, of course. So she's telling them basically to investigate her. So here's the video.
Suggest all you want. Please investigate all you want, right? Like, to me, I'm not like I'm above the law and how dare you, like I understand politics. I understand what these people have to do in order to like feed their base.
So this correction that she made in her accounting error shows that her net worth dropped from $30 million to $95,000. It also shows that she has $100,000 in student loan and credit card debt. She stated that the accounting error was made because she was too busy to do the filings herself. I'd like to find out if there's any other statements, loan applications, or any other forms that would imply that she was to benefit from those inflated figures during that period of time. That would make sense. Or if there's any other statements or anything else that would show proof that that money did exist. Because now she's saying it didn't exist. It was a mistake. And it's really suspicious because she asked for the Republicans to investigate her. Then when the FBI started investigating her, all of a sudden it's, oh wait, I have a mistake on my financial disclosure. I better amend it. And so this amendment comes just 2 days after the investigation. Why didn't she do it all the time before? she had plenty of time for this disclosure. I think she was waiting to see if they were actually going to investigate her or if she was the Teflon Don of Minnesota. Let's see. So 2 days after they announced the investigation, she amends her financial disclosure. And then in the same week, dissolves her winery. Yeah, the timing is a little bit peculiar, I'd say. It seems like these Somalians are attempting a play out of the old playbook. Cover your tracks, you know? So, and I feel like she's covering her tracks. It makes sense. It's almost like you see it being all played out. It's covering her tracks. Let's see. They called her bluff, and she's under investigation. She just refused. Okay, so now she just refused to show up for a Minnesota fraud hearing to answer questions regarding her involvement in the massive Feeding Our Future fraud scheme. So she's under investigation for a completely different fraud scheme that I mentioned earlier about the government benefits for COVID-19, the Feed Our Future. So on Tuesday, the State House Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Committee focused on Omar's sponsorship of federal legislation in 2020 that expanded access to child nutrition programs during the COVID pandemic. Committee Chair Representative Kristen Robinson said that she was frustrated with Omar refusing to testify to appear before the committee. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison also didn't appear. Kristen Robinson also said that both played a major role in the child nutrition scandal and fraud. Billions of tax dollars were stolen, and neither one came to answer questions about their involvement. Omar's office ignored multiple inquiries from the committee. Ultimately, Omar pushed for and had the safeguards removed that would have prevented this type of fraud, without explanation as to why those safeguards were to be removed. Omar promoted the program to Somalian constituents and praised a Minneapolis restaurant, Safari. Omar said, "I am very thankful for Safari for being part of those places where food is being given out each day. Safari gives out the 2,300 meals," she says. But later we found that they weren't giving out meals. It was all fake. Prosecutors discovered that Safari helped siphon more than $250 million from taxpayers through the nutrition program. And of course, her fellow Democrats defended her decision, claiming that it was to make sure the children were fed. Looks like she fed more than just children. Let's say she was innocent. Wouldn't it make sense that she would clear the air with some sort of explanation? Maybe she is remaining silent on the grounds of self-incrimination. And this comes just after Nick Shirley discovered all the fraud in Minnesota with the Leering centers. There's some sketchy business going on with this broad for sure. I just hope some accountability is taken. Let's see. Okay, so check this out. Let's pretend this exact scenario of all these things that I said. Let's pretend it wasn't Ilhan Omar that was the focus. Let's replace her with Trump. Would the Democrats that are currently defending her, would they have that same outlook had it been Trump in them shoes? Had it been a Republican in them shoes? I just don't think so. I think if they were aware of any sort of fraud and that any Republican was liable, they would have hung them. It seems like a double standard. And so therefore you question the Democrats that are supporting her and backing her and protecting her. Are they also complicit? So, it's kind of hard to have a little to have respect for Democrat voters when they condone this kind of behavior from their government, from their party. It's like facts don't matter. Orange man bad, and it's such a clever term to describe these people's ideology. Orange Man bad because it seems like a blind zombie chant. Like, no matter what, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. And so they have no ability to back their claims with anything solid, any facts, nothing. So when you call them on it, they're like, I'm done with this conversation. I don't want to talk no more. I'm done. I'm not talking to you. Or they'll tell me, well, no, you look it up. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You made the claim. Back it up with some facts. Back it up with some evidence that supports your claim. And basically, if you can't, facts are the only way forward. And until we agree that facts and reality are not subjective and based off your emotional truth, we can't have a conversation. So we need to agree that the sky is up, the dirt is on the ground, and the facts are the facts. Like, I mean, it's plain as day. And if you are that mentally incapable of understanding what a fact is, obviously we can't have a conversation. You're an invalid, you're a zombie, you're a vegetable. And so this Orange Man bad zombie logic, you're going to have to shake that, because that is killing any legitimate chances you have at some sort of credibility. So just a little bit of little tip. Well, that's all, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification so that way you can be notified when I have a new video coming out. So I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.
You are watching the American Interest Podcast. Wake up, America! Starting to think Somalia is not sending us their best. Let's get them out of here.
What's the number to ICE?